George Paul, sports administrator par excellence, helped to build ISA, Intersecondary School Sports Association. There was also a young athlete, young Champagne. There's Aisha. Victor Thomas, although he didn't hail from stats, but coached for many years, currently now coaching in the US. The amount of athletes he would have prepared and would have gotten scholarship, and also an Hall of Fame in the US for his achievements. It's a pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the J3As, that's the Jamaica Administrative Athletics Association. This is the 7th staging of the S.W. Isaac Henry Track Invitational. If you notice, like my brother, Dr. Hibbert, we are principals, but you recognize a name in a very clear and precise way, and I repeat it. S.W. Isaac Henry, stalwart headmaster. We are not seeing that term much in the education field, but a true headmaster who pioneered in the education system and made a contribution to the development of sports through ISA. One of the few persons I see who could keep the former Olympian and great Herb McKinley quiet when Herb was in one of his raging moments at Champs. Only the great Zach, I witnessed it as a young man, could calm Herb. That's the level of how this master led. So notwithstanding acknowledging past students who have impacted sports in Jamaica, I acknowledge a great contribution of the St. Andrew Technical High School, the performance of many of the students over all these years through sports, art, and culture. Many times we don't recognize the work that has been done and laid. And yes, I too lift or give tribute or pay tribute rather to Mrs. Juliet Livermore and Sybil Jones. They continue to work tirelessly also for this institution and on behalf of the institution. And so it's of great note that the honoree of the meet, Mr. Michael Carr, one of our national youth coach, I think it was an excellent choice by the organizing committee. I recognize a very good friend in the audience, my very good friend, I'm not going to call your name, who it is. I give him homework. And so in closing, it is we continue to forge a relationship with this as the first meet manager of the staging of this event.
Put your hands together again for God Care, President of the J3As. I'm not preparing. And certainly a long list of accomplished Jamaicans who not only did well, moved on to administration, served. And so while we wait on if the gentleman sitting to be seated at the end of the table, far from me here, Mr. Robert Hill, to shed some more light on the issue of maybe reinvestment committees. These are tough times, so we have to make a round of applause a little louder. Put your hands together, Robert.
Pleasant afternoon, everyone, and a very special Mayberry welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us for the launch of yet another staging of the S.W. Isaac Henry Track and Field Invitational. It is my honor to announce Mayberry Investments as an associate sponsor for the most prestigious meets. Special commendations must be given to the organizers and associate sponsors for their commitment to ensuring that the competition returns allows us to live up to this mandate while also aiding the development of the participants. Track and field is an integral part of the Jamaican people. And from year to year, we are awed at the level of excellence displayed by the youngsters who participate and go on to excel at the national level. We are grateful and proud to be able to help mold these young minds and help them hone their skills and better enhance their lives and environment. We anticipate a very competitive as these talented youngsters prepare to showcase the results of hours of rigorous training and dedication.
Earlier on I heard Mr. Gale mention some past students of great repute, and those certainly who have touched national life in sports, especially in track and field. You had mentioned Mr. Gale, Alvin Wright, stuff. My friend Leroy was a sprinter, Bolts and Lightning. Thank you, sir. But also, too, there was Isa Phillips, and got many a great stars. You said before that I'm Michael Davis living in the United States. When I met Isaac Henry, it was no more than perhaps 2 to 3 weeks. I was heading there to St. Anthony Technical, having come in from Waterford Secondary myself and Rudolph Mighty. Mighty went to Jamaica College and I went to Stats. And I said to, a friend of mine, well, if that is the principal will run the school, then not even really mark up. I said, look serious. But over time, within the next 2 weeks, we were allowed to go into his office. And he said to us, boys, hope when you come to the school, you'll make a difference. And the conversation within the walls of the institution, right, Barry? Good. So much so that when a student misbehaved, Barry know the famous joke, called the teacher ugly and went as to let him friends laugh at the teacher. And the teacher, what are you here for? I said something bad about the teacher. I said, Miss, what's about me? The teacher said, Miss, she said, sir.
Master of ceremony, specially invited guests.
Put your hands together for Philip Fox, who will, of course, move the vote of thanks. I thought you were going to clear the word.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And when you mentioned those two outstanding officials, highly trained, that's where I wanted to start before I do my vote of thanks. For the SW Isaac Henry meeting of 2023, we're pleased to announce that our meeting manager is Mr. Cosmo Stevens. And our assistant meeting manager is Mr. Langley Robinson. So when we have two highly trained, outstanding officials, you know about the quality meat that we're going to be putting on. So we want to thank them for offering their time and their service for the Isaac Henry meeting. Before I get into the meat, I want to also thank Ms. Wilma Charlton, the fourth vice president of the J3A, who has responsibility for selecting the officials for the SW Isaac Henry meeting. Because we have highly trained officials, experienced officials at our meeting, we are proud to announce that. And once you have these outstanding people well trained, you know the caliber meat we're putting on. So let me move into the vote of thanks. Mr. Chairman, I'm so honored to be asked to say thank you. We continue the legacy of the SW Isaac Henry, Stafford Victory Isaac Henry, when we named this meet the SW Isaac Henry track and field meeting. I really want to thank our chairman, Dwight Fraser, who is an outstanding past student. You will hear him every weekend announcing, and we're proud to say Dwight is a past student of these academy. Our principal, Honorable, Dr. Warren Hibbert. Maybe it's a prophetic word saying Honorable because he's signs of things to come. But it's Dr. Warren Hibbert, the principal, who welcomed us all to this occasion. Nicholas Williamson, where he well to say we have a head boy who could do the invocation. He could do anything we asked him to do because he is competent. I want to say thank you, Nicholas, and I hope this is the beginning of great things for you. Mr. Garfield, my friend, the president of the J3s, who is also principal of Charlie Montana. For him to be here with us today, you know, it requires sacrifice. Because, you know, Charlie Mont takes over your time. And, you know, the work he has to do. But once it's says, anything related to the Isaac Henry, anything related to St. Patrick's High School, he makes himself available. Sorry, you want to say thank you. Thank you. Although he came last, he was next in line on the program, Mr. Robert Hill, the chairman of our school board, and nobody said it before, Mr. Tom Clark. And so for him to be here today, if it is even 1 minute before this ended, he would have been here. Sir, we appreciate you running out. One of these streets are Church Street, it's here to say your greetings. It was well appreciated. Thank you. No, I never said it. I'm saying Desiree Walker from Mayberry. You know, in these times when funds are hard to come by, sponsorship is not easy to have. When companies decide to sponsor an event, it means that they're taking several things into consideration while the decision is made. I want to say, Desiree, thank you. on behalf of the chairman of the organizing committee and the principal and chairman of the school, how much we appreciate the sponsorship. You know, without sponsorship, there are several leagues that are not able, started will tell you, to put on anything this year. And if you cannot get sponsorship, it is such a challenge. We are indeed fortunate that we have a set of our students who are committed, and decide every year that they're going to sponsor. And so when Mayberry decided to put that on with us, he said yes. So thank you, and we pray that your profit margin will expand. And so that next year we will see another digit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to say also Ayana Morgan from LASCO. LASCO is doing a lot of things for us this year. And we want to say welcome. Well, LASCO was on from the last time, but they've come on big time this year. And we know that this is the beginning of a great partnership with LASCO. Welcome, LASCO. And I know you'll be very happy when you see what happens at the Estabilizer Academy invitational meet. I know you'll go back in and look at how you can improve on it next time around. Thank you very much. Thank you for the LASCO's chief that we are indeed very grateful. As we move on, we thank Leroy for the highlights. But you know, I'm a very important person that I really want to thank. It will be clear to share with us our honoree, and I want you to stand. Mr. Michael Carter, an outstanding coach. We have traveled many times. An outstanding coach, an outstanding past student of St. Technical High School. And indeed, we are honored this year to have a great person to be at our meet. And we say thank you, sir, for the contribution to track and field and the sacrifices you have made. Thank you. I want to also ask, and no, not last, I'm not there yet. I want to thank Cindy Allen and her team. She's assistant banqueting manager of the Spanish Court Hotel. I want you to know that Spanish Court Hotel put on this thing at no customers. I just stand there, that are very special. And I want to say a big thank you, big thank you, Cindy Allen and your team. Last but not least, the members of the media who will spread this gospel. We're really happy to have you at the launch today. So I know you're going to be carrying the message. SW Isaac Henry Invitational, February 18th, National Stadium. All roads lead to the National Stadium, February 18th. I'm asking the media, and I know they will, to carry that message so we can get our spectators coming out to see an exciting and a high performance meet. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who took the time to be here with us, our vice principal, who is here, who came early, set up and everything, Mr. Daniel Norris, who is also past student. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, coach. Thank you, past students who are here to share this wonderful launch. Have a wonderful afternoon. Meet and greet before you leave. There is refreshment provided. Strong vision. Oh my gosh. I probably must love the little media, but I want to say special thanks to Stride Vision, who is carrying this over all across the globe. This is being watched across the globe. Thanks to Stride Vision. Thank you all, and may God grant you all journey mercies as you leave this venue. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Put your hands together for one more time. All right, so before we run, we said that there are no more questions, but I have a question for the meet manager, Mr. Cosmo. Yes, sir. All right, so you would perhaps join us here at the podium. I have two questions for you. Yeah, everyone's discussion for yeah, so the meet will be at about 5:30, 5:30 or more. Yeah, yeah. One of the challenges that we have been seeing, especially in this religion thing that speak, we can be called. Many of the organizers try as best as possible to finish within a prescribed time. But for whatever reason, and then they seem to be going over and ending up late or later than the time that we was on the program. Some events are prescribed. How can we be sure that that will not be something?
Perfect. So let us start specifically from farming. We're going to speak as we have or we can necessarily give you all the reasons and the event. We have a very organization. We have been doing for but in relation to the number of entries